Hi everybody, this quick video is going to show you a demonstration of how to use the REDWARDS pathways. So first off, I thought we'd have a quick look at the REDWARD pathway. So when you click to start the REDWARD pathway, you should be greeted with a screen a bit like this. When you initially start the pathway, you'll be asked to complete a couple of introductory kind of questions first of all. So there's two sections there for you to complete: the introduction and basic information and the self-development plan. Once those have been completed, you basically jump straight into adding your activity to the pathway. So for the Red Award, your work and volunteering experience in here is your experience section, and your training and development's broken down into two different areas. So you need to do at least 2 hours of careers training and development, so sessions delivered by the careers team, and then 3 hours of general training and development. That could be further careers training and development sessions, that's absolutely fine, or it could be other things as well. If you're unsure, please do contact us and just ask. Now, when you click on a particular section, so say you're adding something to your experience section here, there's some helpful tips about how to use a pathway first of all. And then when you're ready to add an activity you've done, you literally just click the log a session button and you should see a page like this. So if I was adding, for example, 20 hours of volunteering I've done, I'll put 20 hours in, minutes 0. The type of activity I've been doing there would be volunteering. The dates I've done this, maybe it's from the start of January to the end of March, for example. So I just put 1st of January to the end of March. As a reminder, you don't need to be exact on the dates. As long as you just give us a rough idea of when it was completed, that would be absolutely fine. In terms of the organisation where I completed this, maybe it's the British Heart Foundation. And then I'll just put down some referee details. So obviously this is just a made up example, but if I just put down myself, and put down my details into these boxes. So you just put, for example, your manager's name, your supervisor's name from whatever organisation you've completed that activity with. Now, once you've completed that, the final thing you need to do is just add in some evidence. So, in this case, I might upload an email from the organisation confirming I volunteered with them. If you've done a part-time job or something like that before, then you might add in, pay slips or timesheets, whatever evidence you have, is all we're looking for. We're not particularly prescriptive. We're not looking for one thing in particular. As long as it's something which shows that you completed that activity, that's really what we're looking for. Now, when you add that in, it will basically deduct it from the total you need to complete. So you can keep adding in activity until you've completed the relevant sections. And once you've completed all those sections, it will then open up the reflections for you. So we get to reflect a bit on what you've done and also the evaluation as well. So you need to make sure you do all of your pathway before booking on to a completion session for the Red Award. Now, for the Global Engagement Award and the Sustainable Action Award, these are quite similar, but there is some subtle differences. So I thought I'd just run through these quickly for you as well. First off, looking at the Global Engagement Award. Again, when you start your pathway, you'll find a couple of introductory questionnaires to do. So you need to do those first of all as you begin, before it'll open up to allow you to add activity. Now, for those of you who've done these awards, I'm sure you'll be aware that you have to do 40 hours of activity in total. For the Global Engagement Award, you have to do global awareness and global action, and you have to make sure you do at least 10 hours in each, but the kind of combined total reaches 40 hours. So in this case, when you log the activity for this award, what they'll ask you to do, again, click on log a session, and you'll be able to put in the relevant details of the activity you've been completing, but you will be able to kind of submit what section you're completing it for. So for example, global action or global awareness, depending on what section you feel that activity you're submitting best sits with. Again, it will ask you similar details to what you found on the Red Award, so kind of what you've been doing and, a bit of detail about what you've been doing as well, and also some of the skills you've gained or learned or developed through that activity. Also, when it was completed, and again, some referee contact details just in case they're needed. Before, again, you can open up some evidence file, for example, just confirm the activity being completed, and that will show us that it has been completed, what you're trying to add. Once you've added all your activity on global engagement, it will then open up the final stage for you, global understanding, before then the reflections and evaluation as well. Now with global engagement, there isn't a completion session as such for this award. You just need to make sure that you do your global understanding and then complete the remaining of the pathway in order to complete the award. Okay, and finally, the Red Sustainable Action Award. So again, this is very, very similar to the Global Engagement Award pathway we just looked at. Again, you start off your introduction and also your kind of self-development plan as part of your introductory questionnaires, and then you can jump straight into adding your activity. So again, in much the same way as we saw before, you log a session and you start to log in the details of the activity you've completed. But this time you have to obviously split the 40 hours between your acquire and act stage. So again, you need to tell us the activity you'll submit at that time. Does it fit within acquire or act? You need to make sure you have at least 10 hours in each with a combined 40 total hours. Now, within the Sustainable Action Award, you also do need to make sure you link your activity back to one of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So you'll also be asked for the goal or goals you feel that your activity kind of links with when you're submitting those. So you do make sure that you're aware of the goals that you're working towards as you're completing this particular award and do an activity for it. And then the final stage for the Sustainable Action Award is your articulate. So kind of similar to what we saw for the Global Understanding and the Global Engagement Award, but this time you're much more focusing on being an agent of a change. So actually you'll be submitting something here which is kind of outward facing and is encouraging others to take action in relation to the UN Sustainable Development Goals as well. And there'll be a kind of mechanism as part of the pathway for you to submit or upload what you've completed for that particular section. And then, as with the previous award, completing the evaluation and reflections as well will be one of the final things you need to do for the award. So hopefully that's given you a quick indication of the pathways, what you need to do. If you do have any questions, please do feel free to reach out to us. Just contact red@reading.ac.uk, and we're more than happy to answer any questions you have about using the pathways or completing the awards.